my love and respects. Today's subject is go inwards. Shiva is giving one more beautiful technique to center yourself. In last 2 days, the first day before yesterday, we saw sutra as a meditation for the people who are more color oriented, who are thinking in visualization. Yesterday, it was technique which is much deeper to awaken your inner space, to awaken the ability to see inside. So it is much deeper level meditation technique. Today, he is taking us one step further. He is taking us to a different depth, different space. I do not want people to miss. That's the reason I was waiting a little bit. This traffic in this country. And moreover, in India, at least you can go the way in which you want and reach wherever you want. Here a lot of restrictions are there. Cops. A small story about the cops. A lady was driving fast. Cop pulls her over and asks, "Give me your license." She says, "I wish you guys get more organized. One day one guy takes away my license. Today you are asking me to show it. How can I show?" One day one cop takes away my license. Other day you are asking me to show. Why don't you guys get a little more organized? It's a little difficult. All right, it's time to enter into the sutra, the great sutra of Mahadev. Kararuttattrigastrena brubedadvararodhanat drishte bindau kramaline danmadhye paramastitihi. Kararuttadrigastrena brubedadvararodhanat drishte bindau kramaline danmadhye paramastitihi. Amazing sutra. The beauty is every sutra is a complete entity. It is not connected to next sutra. I have not read a single book, at least single spiritual book, in which every sutra is independent. No sutra is connected to next sutra. In all the books, whether it is Patanjali Yoga Sutra or Bhagavad Gita or Ashtavakra Gita or in all the other scriptures, every sutra is connected to next. Only when you read all the sutras, you will have the meaning. You will be able to experience them. Here, every sutra is independent. Means one sutra is enough to make you enlightened. You don't need second sutra if you experience that one sutra. Nothing else is required. That one is enough. That one is enough to liberate you. It is just unimaginable. Each sutra is self-sufficient. It is the path, goal, and technique to reach the goal. All the three are explained, contained in that single sutra itself. Nothing else is required. Let's see the sutra. Kararuttadrigastrena brubedadvararodhanat drishte bindau kramaline danmadhye paramastitihi. The English translation. Closing the 7 openings of the head with your hands, a space between your eyes becomes all-inclusive. Paramastitihi. Beautiful meditation technique. Closing the 7 openings of the head with your hands, a space between your eyes becomes all-inclusive. The whole Tibetan Buddhism is this one technique. This book, each sutra of this book is the base for one religion. That is why I say this is the book of books. Each sutra from this book can create one religion. The whole Tibetan Buddhism worked on this single sutra. Danmadhye paramastitaha. In that space, let you achieve the ultimate, eternal. It's a technique to work on the third eye. The Bhashyakara says, by using the hands as tools, block the entrances in all directions, the eyebrow center is pierced, Bindu is seen, being gradually absorbed within that, the supreme state is realized. It's a beautiful commentary. Let's enter into the sutra. From the time immemorial, almost all religions were working on the third eye. The mystical third eye, the Agnya Chakra, the Shiva's third eye, center between the eyebrows. I always tell people, if other chakras have got 10 or 20 techniques to awaken them, Agnya has got at least 5,000 techniques to awaken. Because there is no master, no religion, no guru, no mystic who has not worked on Agnya Chakra. Knowingly or unknowingly, his Agnya has to open. Only when his Agnya opens, he becomes a mystic. Till then, he is only a mistake on the planet Earth. Only when his Agnya opens, he becomes a mystic. At least 5,000 techniques are available to work on the Agnya Chakra, to explode through the Agnya Chakra. Agnya is the window to cosmos. I always tell people, Agnya Chakra itself is not ultimate, but when you look through that, you will experience the whole cosmos. It is window to cosmos. You can take a quantum jump from Agnya to the ultimate space. Here Shiva says in this technique, to close, to cover all the other openings of the head, so that the energy will be directed inside and the Agnya can be opened. He is asking us to use the concentrated energy as a tool to penetrate the Ajna and open and see the cosmic energy, experience the cosmos. You will be surprised. In Tibet, actually, literally they penetrate it with a wooden piece. They have a sharp wooden piece. Literally they penetrate. Neither any wound nor bleeding happens when they penetrate it. They penetrate at least, I can say something like 2 inch, at least 2 inch they penetrate it. They have a beautiful method. They make you sit under a big bell. There will be huge bell, 6 feet height bell. You will be sitting inside the bell and there will be small openings for the fresh air, and they will hit the bell at different points. From below they will start. They will hit the bell with the different mantras. You will be able to clearly feel that your Muladhara is melting. As on now, your body is very solid. Very solid. When they hit the Muladhara area of that bell, lower area of that bell, and chant mantras, you can clearly feel that your body is becoming slowly like a liquid. You are disappearing, your weight is getting lost. You will just become like a bone covered with butter, just like a flowing liquid. It will be very amazing to see how the body melts. I had the great fortune to be with them for some time. They did it on me also. And it was amazing experience. You can't believe unless you undergo. You can't believe that just by mantra and vibration, your body becomes just like the feeling of liquid starts happening in you. As of now, you have the feeling that you are a solid body. That is why anything pokes your body, you are hurt, wound and bleeding starts and all those things. They just really make you feel like you are liquid. And then they come to next chakra, Swatisthana, and they start beating the bell. They just come little up and start beating the bell and chanting some other mantras, Manipatmeham or some mantras. And you are sitting inside the bell. That vibration, you feel like you are being penetrated with thousands of needles from all corners. And if you don't resist and relax, that very vibration makes you feel you are not solid, you are liquid. And slowly you relax into that vibration. You can't make out where your body starts and where the vibration starts. Suddenly you feel you have become vibration. Such a powerful, strong vibrations of that bell. By the time they come up to the Vishuddhi, they take at least 6 to 7 hours. And you don't feel like eating or 1, 2, 3 anything. Your body becomes just like a liquid. You become a vibration. Let me tell you one more thing. Why they do this? In Tibet, they believe, not only they believe it is a truth, all your samskara, engraved memories are in your body, recorded in your physical body. Physical body is the space where the memory is stored. They say all our tissues are the chip where the memory is stored, memory chip. So if at all we can work on this body, clean it with a vibration, energy, we can reprogram it. We can program it as we want. Just like software, you can just erase, reboot the whole thing and rewrite the software. When they chant that mantras, create the vibration, If you have too much of recorded memories, samskaras, you start feeling little pain. And if you can relax and trust them and fall in tune, simply the pain starts disappearing. Then they have their own beautiful method of recording, creating software. When they bring your body to such high energy, they start giving instruction. I am pure enlightened Atma, I am pure enlightened consciousness. Let me express all great qualities of enlightenment. Let me be loving and compassionate like a Buddha. Let me not be suffered, let me not suffer by the cold and the heat. All these wonderful instructions, beautiful memories, they chant and it gets recorded into your body. Again, your body comes back to a same solid shape with these memories. Then they take you out of the bell. Now you are a fresh guy. Totally new man. They have programmed you. And you will be surprised. Let me be very honest. I swear it happened. I have seen these lamas. Lamas, when they sit and meditate in that cold, they don't wear any cloth. They just sit naked and start chanting that mantra or the humming, the first meditation technique which you practice in LBP, the Maha Mantra is from them. It is their gift to me. I learned this great technique from them. When you do that Maha Mantra humming, simply the whole body sweats. They are sitting in minus degrees, no cloth, body sweats, and they say they will put a wet cloth on you. The clothes should dry because of the heat produced by your body. Only then you will be initiated as a Lama. Means the power of the body, when the body is given instruction, when the high, strong, pure memories are recorded, after removing the negative memories, your body starts simply acting as you want, tuning the whole body. And one more thing, I have seen them curing cancers and tumors just like this. They will make that person sit, 10 lamas will sit and beat that bell, create the vibration, chant the mantra. Once they feel that that person is in a high mood, the peak energy, they will just chant, you don't have tumor, let it come out, it has disappeared. They will just record the body, bio-memory. And you will be surprised, simply the person will be healed in 10 days. Simply the disease will disappear. I was surprised how they do, but they have their own science, they have their own way. Even from Wisconsin University, group of scientists went and stayed with them to experiment how they are able to live in that cold without wearing clothes, how they are able to survive, how they are able to live. They say not only they are able to survive in the cold, they are able to live with minimum quantity of food. If you take particular food, if your body produces 100 calorie energy, their body produces 600 calorie energy. They say the energy released from the same food is 6 times more than any normal human body. It is just because they purify that body through this system. Anyhow, slowly they come from chakra to chakra to chakra, chakra to chakra. By the time they come to the Agnya chakra, you are almost feeling that you are liquid. You are no more that body. You feel you are just nothing but the vibrations. Then they take you out of the body, they take you out of that bell and start inserting that wooden needle on your third eye. It's just amazing process. I am just talking to you to tell how the whole Tibetan Buddhism is centered on third eye, and they did on me also. I don't know how you will be able to believe. It is very difficult to believe for any logical person. My third eye was penetrated, Anga area is penetrated, but no wound. You won't see any wound. There was no bleeding. And they keep that wooden nail and loud chanting goes on. They just hit it slowly with a wooden hammer. And slowly they insert. It goes inside. You feel whether the wooden stick is reducing its depth or really it is going into your head, you won't understand. You won't be able to make it out. Whether it is really going into your head or slowly reducing its height. And simply it goes inside. And then they start giving instruction. I am enlightened. My whole body will express the enlightenment energy. I radiate the quality of Buddha. All those mantras they chant. Once they finish chanting, means once they finish the reprogramming, once they finish the recording, they give you the password. The password is mantra. That is what is mantra. They say, anytime repeat this mantra, this memory will be awakened. You can use that memory anytime using that password. Just type that mantra over. Immediately your body is ready with that high energy. With that high energy. Actually it is their gift to me that even the system of giving healing initiation is gift from great lamas, the Tibetan lamas. And one more beautiful thing is they are such a simple people, they never have that idea of rejecting somebody. Anybody who wants to learn, they shower. They do not bother that you are a Hindu, you belong to other country. They do not bother. Such a simple people, they are not even aware of the great wealth, spiritual wisdom they are having. That is why they are exploited. They are not even aware of the great wisdom and wealth which they are carrying. Just I am surprised to see, and I myself have seen, the lamas who have taken this process. They roll on the ground and go around the Kailash. Please understand, even walking and going around the Kailash is not possible thing. They roll on the ground and go around the Kailash. And they do it's called Dandavat Pradakshina. Means they will fall flat, stand up and do Namaskar, again fall flat, stand up. Just falling flat, doing Namaskar, they go around. I myself have seen when they go around Manasarovar, and they do in Kailash also. You will be shocked. You will be shocked. They just roll on the ground and go around the Kailash and Manasarovar because of their body is programmed. They program their body. We also program our body, but with all virus softwares, filled with virus, corrupted. Nothing goes well. You type some password and something is working. And neither it is under your control nor under somebody else's control. You type something and something happens, something suddenly pops up, filled with pop-up, complete corrupted virus program. It's like they clean the whole thing. I was trying to establish that science in our ashram, but you need to do it step by step. First you have to prepare fire walking. This time only we did that. They make you walk on the fire. These are the step by step they prepare your body and mind to enter into that great alchemy. Anyhow, this whole, the system, their whole initiation method, the whole thing is just this one sutra. This one sutra of Kararutta Trigastrena Prabhedat Vararodhanat Drishte Bindau Kramalline Danmatye Paramastitihi. They work intensely on the third eye. Shiva is asking us to do the same thing. If your third eye is awakened, you are Shiva, otherwise Sava. If your third eye is awakened, you are Buddha, otherwise Buddhu. The only difference between Buddha and Buddhu, Shiva or Shava, is third eye. Man plus third eye is God, God minus third eye is man. Your intuition energy is awakened when your third eye is awakened. There is a great mathematician called Ramanujam in South India. If you have heard about him, I don't know. He was in South India. He was taken to even Oxford. Oxford mathematicians have invited him, took him to London and studied from him. The great mathematicians, Oxford mathematicians also, they say, if we are taking 1 hour to solve any problems, simply will come out with solution in 2-3 seconds. Just you have to tell the problem, he is ready, he is there with solution. Just tell the problem, solution is there. People asked him, what is this? How are you able to do? How you are able to give a solution just like that? He says, that and all I don't know. And he is a great devotee of one Mahalakshmi, Sholingapuram. There is a village near his birthplace. Devi, Mahalakshmi is worshipped, Vishnu's wife. He says, that Devi tells me. And the people who lived around him, they always found one strange thing. Whenever a problem is given to him, automatically his eyes will be sucked towards the third eye. His both eyes will be centered towards the third eye and he will just come out with the answer. He doesn't have to go through the logical steps to come to the conclusion. Please understand. Intuition means you don't have to go through the same logical steps to come to the conclusion. For example, 200 into 200 is something like 40,000. Am I right? 4,000. Sorry. A big problem with this calculation. 40,000. Then I am right. See, like this is what to do. Even if you are right, somebody confuses you. Somehow I managed to calculate such a big number. Anyhow, usually what your mind does, it just does a regular calculation. 200 into 200, 2 into 2, 4. And this 2 0, that 2 0, 4 zeros. Something like that it goes on. One important thing you should understand. If you are going to come to a certain conclusion after logical steps, the conclusion is already there in your inner space. Unless it is there in your inner space, you can't come to that. It is there. You are just traveling through that path to come to that conclusion. If your intuition is awakened, you don't have to travel through that same path to come to that conclusion. Suddenly, it will be awakened. The whole path and the goal will be lit. It will be lit where you can decide easily without much data or unprecedented problems. Just today I was talking to one of our group of our devotees how to use the spiritual intelligence, the administration and management. If you awaken the third eye, you don't have to go through, if you work on the third eye, you don't have to go through the regular, usual, logical system of thinking to come to a conclusion. That is why From the time immemorial, women of India are asked to work on the third eye. She is like a counselor. She is like a counselor. Always the husbands, they come back in the evening and put all the business problems in front of her. Get her ideas and opinion and counseling. She was respected because constantly she works on her third eye. There are so many ways to work on the third eye. That kumkum or the bindu which you are using is also one method. And concentrating on the lamp. If you see a traditional Indian woman's life, it's nothing but working on third eye. Whole day their lifestyle is nothing but working on third eye. They are knowingly or unknowingly, they work on the third eye. And moreover, women by very nature are intuitive. They are very intuitive. Just by seeing somebody, they can tell where he is looking, what far he is looking. Because the intuition is a basic need for them to protect themselves. From the young age, they have to develop that intuition to protect themselves. It is not a luxury for them, it is a basic need for them. So just one glance is enough, where this guy is looking, what far he is looking, what he is thinking in the mind. You can't escape from women's intuition. But sometimes they are so graceful, they let you think that they don't know. They just let you play your game. They do not want to be too much on you. But one thing I can be sure, the intuition power of women is lot more than men by the very nature. Second thing, the techniques traditional Indian women practice, like kumkum or every day sitting in front of that lamp and meditating on it, all these things are techniques to awaken the third eye. Almost all the spiritual traditions, some way or other, worked on third eye by some technique or social lifestyle or something. Some way the working on the third eye was lifestyle. Third eye is the route for taking jump from form to formlessness. Form to formlessness. When Ramakrishna was caught in the form of Kali, there is a beautiful, sweet incident in Ramakrishna's life. He was a worshipper of Kali. He used to worship the Kali's form. He used to see her darshan and go into the Savikalpa Samadhi, means little less than Samadhi. A great enlightened master, Totaburi, came to see him. That's the beauty of Ramakrishna. All the great masters came to see him. He never went out in search of masters. They came to see him. He came, he saw this great sadhaka, and he asked Ramakrishna, would you like to enter into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the ultimate enlightenment? Ramakrishna said, yes, I have no problem, but just wait for a moment. I'll go to my mother and ask her, can I do what you want me to do? Totaburi thought, oh, maybe his mother is also staying there in the temple. He is asking permission. He said, all right, you can go and ask your mother, no problem. He straight ran into the temple and came back after 10 minutes, shouting, jumping, screaming, dancing. My mother has agreed. She told me that been brought here just to teach me. Yes, you can teach me. Totaburi thought, what is this? This guy said he wants to ask his mother. You said you wanted to ask your mother. Where is your mother? She is inside temple. He said, yes, she is inside temple. Come, I will show you. He took Totaburi and showed the Murti of Devi, Kali. Totaburi was shocked. But mentally he thought, maybe he is very simple, innocent guy, devoted, highly devoted to Kali. That is why he feels she is the mother. It's okay. Then, after a few days, when he wants to initiate him, he said, now you have to drop your form, go beyond the form of Mother Kali. Then he tells, please wait 1 more minute. I'll just go and ask her and come back. And he comes back and tells, yes, mother told me that I can go beyond the form, I can drop the form. And Totaburi initiates him and asks him to meditate, put his mind on the formlessness. Ramakrishna says, the moment I close my eyes, she is there in front of me, I am lost. So I don't have any willpower to go beyond that form. Then Totaburi says, visualize your mind is a sword and cut with that sword the whole form of the Devi. Enter into that formlessness. Again Ramakrishna says, no, I am not able to. Then suddenly Totaburi sees this side and that side. He finds some sharp object, nail or something, or a glass piece. He takes that and pokes into the third eye of Ramakrishna. He just straight away pokes. The same technique which I say, which is practiced in Tibet to penetrate the third eye. Suddenly the Anya of Ramakrishna gets awakened. Then Totaburi gives instruction, now cut the form of the mother with the sword of knowledge. He cuts. The moment third eye is awakened, he was able to cut the form into 2 pieces, and the story says he was lost in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, enlightenment, for next 9 months. I don't know what is that mystical number, 9 months. In your Garbha also you have to stay 9 months. Whenever somebody becomes enlightened, at least 9 months it takes for him to create new body through which he can operate and do the spiritual mission. Ramakrishna, Raman Maharshi, all great masters, it takes at least 9 months for them after enlightenment to settle down or to connect again with the body. Connect again with the body. Anyhow, he becomes enlightened, again working on Ajna Chakra, third eye only. When Ramakrishna was centered on the third eye, Ajna Chakra, by Totaburi, he became enlightened. Now you don't have to use such a crude method of penetrating with some object. You can penetrate it with a strong energy. The energy can be solidified. It can be used like a strong tool, drill bit, to penetrate your Ajna Chakra. Kararuttatrigastrena means, he says, use your hands and close all the 7 openings of the hand. Usually, all your energy is flowing towards the outer world constantly through the head. These 7 openings of the head, through these 7 openings, all your energy is going towards the outer world. That is why practically you live only with your head. If you close your eyes and suddenly remember your name, you will remember only this portion. The below portion is just hanging with this portion, that's all. You always identify yourself only with this portion. That is why whether it is portrait or statue, they make this portion. Have you seen any portrait only below portion? Any statue only below portion? No. The identification is always done with this portion. The reason is you live in that portion. You identify yourself with that portion. Even if you see a photograph or anything, first your eyes will go on the face only. Because you live in the head. All your energy stays. The information gathering, jnanendriya or acting, karmendriya, both happens. The headquarters is in the head. That is why it is called headquarters, not heart quarters or lung quarters. Your whole energy is centered on the head. So now Shiva says, close all the 7 openings. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears and the mouth. Close all the 7 openings. Then immediately the outgoing energy which is constantly flowing outside, will be stopped and it will be concentrated as one beam light, one light beam. Then now you can use that energy to penetrate your third eye. If you have seen a young age, if you concentrate the sun rays through a glass, paper or the cotton will be burnt. Same way, if you concentrate the energy which flows outside by closing, it will become a strong beam of power, energy. Then you can use that to penetrate your third eye. It is called Shanmukhi Mudra. Closing all the 7 openings. That mudra is called Shanmukhi Mudra, through which you create the concentrated beam of energy and turn it towards your third eye to penetrate. A space between your eyes becomes all inclusive. Kararuttat brigastrena, kararuttat brigastrena, brubedad dvararodhanat, drishte bindau kramalini, danmadye paramastitihi. Through this way, you can awaken the third eye and be established in the third eye. It's a beautiful meditation technique. This meditation is so powerful, it can just straight away transport you. This meditation is classified as a technique for sudden enlightenment. There are techniques for gradual enlightenment. There are techniques for sudden enlightenment. There is every chance 120 enlightened people can go out. After this session, you don't know, because this technique brings sudden enlightenment. It's very powerful and highly energetic technique. You should understand the truth of sudden enlightenment. Sudden enlightenment means where you don't need any preparation. Simply in single moment you are awakened. Then you will be able to establish yourself in that experience. Gradual means you practice for a long time. Then you establish yourself in that experience. This sudden enlightenment is always good because it gives you the glimpse and the conviction about the possibility happens in your being. Then you won't have much doubts and problems. All our problems are nothing but our doubts. Is it really available? Or will I be able to have? Will that be successful? I don't know what will happen to this. I don't know what will happen to my husband. I don't know what will happen to my wife. I don't know who will run away where. All these doubts are the problem. When you have at least one glimpse, sudden enlightenment, all these problems will disappear. It will be a lot more easy for you to travel on your journey. All great masters, fortunately, directly, with understanding or without understanding, had the glimpse of sudden enlightenment. Sudden enlightenment. So, it is time for us to go inward and work on the Ajna Chakra to have the glimpse of enlightenment. Today we will spend a little more time on the meditation because it's a very powerful technique. I really felt yesterday and day before yesterday we couldn't spend much time on meditation. Today we will spend a little more time on meditation. Let you have a small break, then we will come back and spend a little more time on this beautiful technique. And moreover, this technique can be understood only when you practice it. Let's gather for next session. Thank you. It is time we enter into meditation. Let me describe the technique. It's a very powerful technique. Please understand the instruction slowly but clearly, then we will do it. You are supposed to close all the 7 openings with your 2 hands. Let me first describe, show, and then you can close. 2 thumbs on your ears, 2 fingers on your eyes, and 1 finger from each hand on your nose, and mouth you can just keep it shut. That's enough. Let me describe the technique clearly. Do not close the nose completely, then do not block it completely, but reduce the airflow. As on now, it is going chaotically. Reduce it and balance it. We do mantra japa to balance the prana flow only. Many people will be always doing mantra japa. Actually, it regulates your prana flow. It helps you to go towards the little more higher space or consciousness. So, let me describe, later on you can do, you can just please understand completely first, then you can do later on. See it clearly. And this is called Shanmukhi Mudra. When you close like this, the energy flow which is going outside, actually through the face, through the 7 openings, constantly energy is going out. Your hands are very powerful. These energy centers are so powerful, it can stop the energy flow going outside and turn it towards inside. Turn it towards inside. We are doing 2 things. First, stopping the energy flow outside and turning it inside, and concentrating that beam of energy which is turned inside towards the Ajna. First we are stopping the energy flow towards outside, then we are turning it inside, and third, concentrating the turned energy on your third eye. So that as on now 80% of your energy is going through the face. You are gathering data through the head 80%. 80% of your Jnanendriya activities are happening through the face. Now you stop all that energy flow out and turn it towards in and center on the third eye. 3 steps. I will guide you step by step. First understand this mudra, Shanmukhi Mudra. And first you have to close your ears properly. Actually, it will be comfortable for you if you sit on the ground and put your hands on the chair, so that the hands heaviness you won't feel. You can support yourself on the chair. You understand? You can turn a chair, put a chair in front of you. Yes, just like that. And support your hands. It will, or you can support on the chair which is front of you. You can sit on a chair, and you can sit even on a chair and put your hands on the, so that it will be, you will not have that shoulder pain. Yes, that's the right thing. You won't have shoulder pain. One more thing, please understand. Attention, please. Please understand. You may ask the question, can I cover it with earplug or some clothes, Swamiji? No. Earplugs does not have energy center. Your fingers have got energy center. That is why in India we always eat with hands. Because food will be energized. The food will feel comfortable with your body will feel comfortable with the food before it goes inside your system. And I always, even if you eat with a spoon, please always put your hand on the food for a few minutes before eating. Before eating, always wash your both your hands, put your hand on the food. Remember God or Guru or whatever you meditate, and whoever you meditate, just remember for a few minutes, then start eating. The food will feel comfortable with your body will feel comfortable with the food. There won't be something like a sudden exposure. It will be more very friendly relationship. It is good to touch the food and eat. Anyhow, you are all set now? Please close your all the 7 openings in the face. If you are wearing specs, remove that. Do not try to put your fingers under the specs. Do not close the nose completely. Just reduce the prana flow. When your mind settles down itself, the prana flow will reduce. In this same Shanmukhi Mudra, inhale and exhale as slowly as possible. As slowly as possible. Inhale and exhale. Just inhale and exhale. As slowly as possible, as deeply as possible. Let your mouth be closed tightly. Visualize both your eyeballs have become like a stone. Let them not move, let them become just like a stone. Inhale and exhale as slowly as possible, as deeply as possible. Slowly, very slowly, put your attention on the third eye. Do not concentrate, do not tense yourself. Just put your attention on the third eye, Ajna Chakra. slowly, intensely start concentrating on your third eye. Intensify your awareness. Do not create stress. Try to penetrate with deep awareness. Do not create pressure. Create only awareness. Intensely visualize as if you are penetrating your third eye with a drill bit. Visualize, visualize deeply as if you are penetrating your third eye with a drill bit. Penetrate your third eye intensely. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Relax. Slowly you can relax and open your eyes. Try with this technique in a very comfortable posture. You will see tremendous energy created in your third eye to awaken your intuition. As of now, I saw many were juggling. Sit in a comfortable pose where your hand is supported. Then you will see you are entering into a deeper energies, the higher consciousness. Let these techniques give you the high energy and liberate you. Let you all become one with the Shiva consciousness. Let you radiate eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you.